Hi, I'm Lee Grissom, and this is my first entry for my Creative Journal assignment. And my first entry is entitled Letting Go, and it is dated June 24th, 2013. And there's an inspirational quote that I found on a website called theonerule.com, and it reads, "You will find that it's necessary to let some things go simply for the reason that they are too heavy." And I have written the quote down and will show you a very simple drawing that I drew to illustrate this concept in my life. You can see in colored pencil there, there is a rain cloud and stormy picture there with balloons being released um, up into the sky. Sort of indicating that it's very difficult to hang on to balloons, as beautiful as they are and as valuable as they may be, during a storm. And then the next picture, on the other side, is a picture of a happy young woman in the sun. This just indicates that some things in life, no matter if they're precious to us, we have to let them go. If it's not the right time in our life for us to have those particular things or people or experiences, that it's much more of a happy place to be without that precious thing or that thing of great value to you, that you're more fulfilled as a person without that thing, which is indicated by the sunshine there, than in trying to hang on to something that's just too difficult. And it is signed at the bottom and dated at the top. And then my next entry is dated June 30th, 2013, and it is also inspired by an inspirational quote by Isadora Duncan, who is a dancer, and her quote is, "Don't let them tame you." I spent many years as a dancer, a performer, a choreographer, and an instructor, and so I particularly like this quote. I also have a pencil drawing here. You can see the two stick figures in blue are dancers, and they are leaping through the air, accompanied by difficulties that are entitled failed relationships, debt, loneliness, job loss, unmet expectations, sickness, but they are following the lead word there, which is joy. So even though there are difficulties surrounding the dancers, they continue to dance with joy and not to give up on that in spite of the difficulties. This entry is signed and dated at the top, and it is entitled Perseverance. The last entry I showed you was entitled Letting Go. The next two entries were, we were prompted from the lecture this past week, and I entitled this entry, which was the entry where we were encouraged to find literature that had made an impact on our life and make a list of those. And I did list some titles from that I remember from elementary school. Two of those were Charlotte's Web and Little House on the Prairie. In high school, there were a couple of books. One is Mountain Born by Elizabeth Yates, and the other is Miracle on Maple Hill by Virginia Sorensen. Those two themes focused on families facing and overcoming difficulty together and caring for those that are outcast. Then in college, I was particularly impacted by Greek mythology, reading Greek mythology, and a study of the Bible. Those two gave me a sense of timelessness and how age-old human struggles, the human struggles of fears and faith are. And I really got a sense reading that literature of being a part of humanity across thousands of years. I entitled this entry Identifying, and I just made a list here of those books and the time periods that I read them in my life. I did list several from adulthood that were particularly impactful to me. Two biographies. One is George Mueller, that of George Mueller, who was a missionary in the 19th century, and Teresa of Calcutta, which is, of course, Mother Teresa. And then I listed a novel, Safe Haven, Safely Home, which is by Randy Alcorn, Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks, and then another book which is more of a compilation of inspirational thoughts and stories. It's called 1000 Gifts by Ann Voskamp. These books are literature that I have read as an adult that have made an impact for me. The novels Safely Home and Safe Haven challenged me to evaluate what was truly important to me as a person and what would I be willing to risk my life for, how valuable were these things. And the book 1000 Gifts, which I will be sharing in my discussion board post for this week, challenged me to live a life of gratitude regardless of pain and difficulty. This journal entry is a reflection of the literature that I've read throughout my life and that I was able to identify with. It's dated July 2nd and is entitled Identifying. And then the last entry that I'd like to share with you is entitled Repercussions. The last entry I have is dated July 2nd, 2013, and it's entitled Repercussions. It is intensely personal. It is a cluster drawing, and I will hold this up, but I probably won't do a whole lot of explaining, but it's just in the center word there. It is a human interaction that can have many different repercussions, some of them very positive, which you will see as indicated on one side of the cluster drawing, some that are very negative, which you'll see on the other side, and also some that are intensely spiritual, which you'll see on the bottom part of the cluster drawing. On discussion board, we were prompted to talk about how did this process feel. To me, it was like a realization of multiple layers and aspects of this human interaction. We were also asked, did we gain new insights from this activity? Yes, it helped me to analyze the benefits and risk of this particular human interaction. And then lastly, will I use this with my clients? I absolutely will use cluster drawings with my clients. I just think it's very beneficial in helping one organize and visualize maybe conflicting feelings that can arise from relationships or human interaction in this way. So once again, this one is entitled Repercussions, and that is the extent of my creativity journal at this point. I'm enjoying this process very much, and thank you.